Hi everybody, so I'm back with another album review, and tonight I'm talking about a Barbra Streisand album from 1993 called Back to Broadway. So I already did the Broadway album here, so I'm doing Back to Broadway now, and Back to Broadway was like the sequel to the Broadway album. She was going back to Broadway. Barbara had released some albums after the Broadway album that were like live albums, and then some compilation albums. She released Till I Loved You with Don Johnson, which is another one of my favorites as well. And she did a soundtrack to the Prince of Tides too. She did two songs on the soundtrack. So Barbara was busy in between the Broadway album and Back to Broadway. She releases Back to Broadway really at the big height of her career in the early 90s. Barbara was everywhere. There was all these concerts that were happening and all these VHS tapes flying around. Barbara was big in 1993. She was really big. So the first song on the album is Some Enchanted Evening. Some enchanted evening, you will see a stranger across a crowded room and fly to his side and make him your own, or all through your life you will dream all alone. That is very beautiful song. It's just so flowing and gorgeous. I love Some Enchanted Evening a lot. What a pretty song that was. So then the next one is Everybody Says Don't. And she's listing all these things that people say don't to. And she says, well, I say do. And she says, I say do this. Take chances and risk things. Take chances. She's saying, I say do. I say take a chance. Put yourself out there and everything. So Barbara Walters was interviewing Barbara one time, and she was like, Barbara, there's not a single song you've ever sung that isn't really totally empowering to everybody, and this song really fits that as well. And it was just Barbara Walters really enjoyed it. She really thought highly of the song as well, and it's a good song. Okay, so then the next song is the Music of the Night. This is a duet with Michael Crawford, and some of you may know Michael Crawford was in Hello Dolly with Barbara. He had a supporting part in that movie, a big supporting part in that movie with her. And so he comes back all these years later and does this beautiful duet of the Music of the Night. What gorgeous duet that was. Just so beautiful. From the Family Opera. Really pretty. Okay, so then there's Speak Low. Speak Low when you speak love. This song has a real dreamy feel to it. It's really flowing and dreamy like that. It's really gorgeous. So then there's As If We Never Said Goodbye. It's all as if we've never said goodbye. This is from Sunset Boulevard, the play. She's playing like a character of Norma Desmond in this. It's all as if we've never said goodbye. There's two songs on the album like this from Sunset Boulevard as well. And that's one of them. So then there's Children Will Listen. She's talking about children will listen, children will pay attention to what you say around them. So be careful what you say around children because they will listen. Children will listen. Then there's I Have a Love, One Hand, One Heart. This is a duet with Johnny Mathis. I love Johnny Mathis, and the interesting thing about Johnny Mathis, and very cool thing about Johnny Mathis, that I always tell everybody, Johnny Mathis was the one who had the very first compilation album in history. The very first greatest hits album was Johnny Mathis. So that's so cool. Then there's I've Never Been in Love Before. She says, I've never been in love before, not all at once. I thought I knew the score. I've never been in love before. So she's stepping into a new relationship with this guy, and she's feeling a bit nervous about how things may turn out in the relationship. So then there's Love Be a Lady. Love Be a Lady Tonight. This was originally done by Frank Sinatra as well. Um, and this is a real casino type song. Like maybe you're on the way to the casino and you gotta go gambling. You would play this song. Love Be a Lady Tonight. Lucky if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Love Be a Lady Tonight. She talks about a lady when walk off with some strangers when she's trying to have the luck on her side while she's gambling. You know, so it's really interesting like that. Okay, so then there's With One Look. This is the other Sunset Boulevard songs on the album. With One Look, I Can Break Your Heart. With One Look, I play every part. Silent music starts to play. That kind of evokes scenes of the silent movies as well. Silent music starts to play. It's gorgeous. So then there's The Man I Love. Someday he'll come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong, the man I love. Really gorgeous. So the last song is Move On. Move on. We've got to move on. She's talking about ending this relationship, and she just got a point where she wants to move on from the relationship. She wants it to be over, and she wants the guy to realize that it's finally over. And it's kind of fits too as the last song of the album. It's like move on from the relationship, also move on from this album, you know, for this kind of a good closure song for the album. So the album artwork for Back to Broadway is nice, very, very classy. It's got Barbara, she's wearing an off-the-shoulder top that's black, and it has studs on it, like, I guess it's rhinestones or something, all around the trim of it. And she's smiling real big. She has that pretty shoulder length blonde hair that she had in the 90s. She looks gorgeous, and it's just such a classy album cover. Of course, it says Barbra Streisand Back to Broadway on it as well. But I think you would really love Back to Broadway when you give it a listen, because it's really fantastic music. So go listen to it. Absolutely go listen to it. You will love it. I know I love it. I plan on listening to it after I talk about it. And I thank you so much for listening to me talk about Back to Broadway by Barbra Streisand. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you stay tuned, because I plan to do some more album reviews, definitely some more Barbra Streisand album reviews too. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.